Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a little bit of a different kind of video. I normally do a lot of unboxings and what's in my bags, but I actually wanted to do a review on my Cartier Love bracelet because I did not get the traditional one. I got the cuff, and I wanted to do a review to let you guys know what I like about it, the pros, the cons, my experience with it, because I watched just about every video that there was before I purchased this bracelet, and it's an investment piece, but it's a forever piece. I would never purchase a Love bracelet to hope that one day I'd have to sell it. I knew that I wanted to invest in a bracelet that I will keep on my body for the rest of my life. And of course, you can get costume jewelry like the Christian Dior ring and other items that you may grow out of, that you may not want forever, but are pieces that you may not keep forever. But I knew that for the Love bracelet, I was going to get it, and it was going to be a forever piece for me. It's classic, it's absolutely timeless, the history behind it is beautiful, and I can also tell you why I got it, and you know, if I think you guys should purchase it if you've been thinking about it, because it's not cheap. It's very expensive. It's kind of crazy how expensive it is, and that's part of the reason why I went for the cuff. I will get into all of that in this video. Let me start with my experience with the Cartier Love bracelet and how I came to the decision that I wanted to purchase this particular bracelet. So let me just pull her up to make sure that I'm getting this correct. Like I said, I watched so many videos about this bracelet before I purchased it. I've been eyeing it for a long time. It's something that's always caught my eye, and it's just beautiful. And I didn't just want it to be like everybody else. It goes with my style. It's kind of funny because I have my left side, which I keep most of my silver jewelry on. It just happens this way. And then my right side is like my finer jewelry. I wouldn't say the Hermes cuff is like fine jewelry, but it's all my gold jewelry. But it just kind of happens that way. So anyways, I knew that I was really serious about wanting to buy this bracelet, but I had a lot of things to think about because I am a nursing student, and with that I'm going to be a nurse working in a hospital, and they are very particular about what you wear. So I have a couple of necklaces that I keep on all of the time. I don't usually wear earrings when I work at the hospital. I take most of my bracelets off, so I just know that I need pieces that I love, but pieces that I can remove, because you can't wear rings to the hospital, or they discourage it, to be honest. Like, I think you can kind of do what you want. I've seen people with their rings on, but it's to prevent bacteria, and like, it's to prevent excess bacteria and risk of infection for the patients. It's really for patient safety and for your safety. You know, if you get something on you and you don't wash everything correctly, you're going to be carrying something around, and vice versa. If you have something on your ring from you and you pass that to a very sick patient, that's not good. So yeah, I know that my jewelry needs to be removable, and with the screwdriver full Cartier Love bracelet, that stays on you. And I mean, one bracelet, it could probably stay on you, but for me, I like the option to remove it. As I was saying, and before I got distracted, I watched every video there was about the Cartier Love bracelet, and I finally found LuxPurseLove. I found her YouTube channel, and I love her. I think she's great. She did a really nice video on her Cartier Love cuff, and she also has the cuff version, and she's the one who really solidified the decision to purchase the cuff version of this bracelet. So I will link her video down below because it's very helpful. It's, like I said, it's the reason I was able to make an easy decision that yes, this bracelet is for me. And if you're the type of person who can leave your jewelry on all of the time and you're never going to want to take it off, go for the full version. But I don't feel like I'm missing out by having the cuff, because from just about any angle, it looks like it's the full bracelet. And a lot of people are like, it's you know, I wouldn't want an incomplete bracelet. It doesn't feel like that at all. And I really don't think anybody looking at your wrist from the outside could tell, you know, from the side. Unless you like completely turn your wrist upside down, people can't tell. And why would they care anyway? But besides the point, I'm going to start going into the pros of this bracelet. So that was just kind of the backstory and who inspired me to really make this decision. I'm going to do the pros, the cons, and then my experience with the bracelet. Because again, I know people are like, here's 10 reasons why you should not buy the Cartier Love bracelet. That's fine. I watched all of those videos too, and I still made the decision to get it. So if this video can be any sort of help for you, that's the whole point, and that's my whole purpose here. The first pro is that it's simple, it's timeless, and it's beautiful. So this bracelet to me will never look dated. It will never not be a classic. It will never not be sought after. I just think its history is beautiful. You guys can, you know, do your own research on all of the history and the meaning behind it, but I absolutely love how this looks. And again, some people don't like the way this looks, and that's totally fine. It's all about your personal preference. But for me, I knew that this would be an amazing piece to have forever. And that's my second pro, is that it's a forever piece. So you spend that giant chunk of money one time and it's yours for your entire life. So cost per wear, I like don't take this off unless I'm going to the hospital. So cost per wear, like this is probably, that's why it's one of my best purchases of 2020, because it's been the most used. So I think for me, jewelry is actually a really good purchase because I wear it a lot versus my bags I kind of get scared to wear. I'm not going to go on too much of a tangent because we're already 8 minutes in. The third pro is that this can be worn alone or it can be stacked, and either way it looks amazing. I feel like it doesn't really get lost in a stack, but then by itself it's not too flashy. I don't feel like it's a flashy piece. I feel like people notice it, but it's not like a big bam in your face. Like you look at someone and you see they have a Cartier bracelet on and you're like, wow, that's beautiful. It's not like, oh my God, like she's wearing Chanel CCs all over her chest and her earrings. It's like just very simple and beautiful and classy, and I really love that. The next pro is the one particular that I got. It allows you to take it on and off easily without damaging the locking mechanism. So I've seen videos about the full bracelet with the screw and people having to get it like glued so that the screw stays in, and you know, damaging it when they're screwing it in and unscrewing it. So I think over time, if you were to be constantly screwing in and unscrewing the lock, that it would damage it. And then it's like, what do you do? I don't know that they'd fix it. Like I said, besides putting that glue, it's not glue, but that's what they call it. And I've seen several videos about that, and I'm like, I'm not paying $5,000 for someone to pour glue into my bracelet. And that's like how much this one was. I don't even know how much I don't even know how much the full one is. The next pro, which is actually the last one for me, is the cuff is less expensive. I'm not going to say it's cheap, but it's less expensive. And now that's not why I got mine, but it's a plus. I didn't just choose the cuff to take a cheaper or less expensive alternative. It really was the best choice for me. And I think, you know, I sat on this purchase for a long time. I was like, I really wanted to understand the pros and cons of each, and then I finally came to my decision. But anyways, I totally forgot, as I was saying, if you are the type of person that has a job where you can wear as much jewelry, you don't have to worry about, you know, taking things on and off, I would have gone for the full bracelet if I had an occupation that would allow me to not need to take my jewelry off. And I think like doctors even own the full bracelet, but for a nurse and like even for emergency scenarios, like I think I have like catastrophic thinking, so I'm like, if something happens to me and they need to perform surgery and they have to saw my bracelet off, like I don't know what I would do. I do think like that, so it's not the best. It's not a healthy way to think, I don't believe, but it's just something that I've seriously considered. Like, okay, if something were to happen to me, would they have to cut this bracelet off of me if I don't have the screwdriver on hand? And who carries their Cartier screwdriver around? I don't know, maybe you do, but I wouldn't. So yeah, that's something I think about. So if you were able to keep the bracelet on all the time, I still think there's like pros to having the cuff versus the full bracelet. And again, that's ultimately why I chose that bracelet. Now we are going to transition to the cons. The first con is the price. Like, who wants to pay $5,000 to $10,000 on a bracelet? We do, apparently. I don't want to, but I did, and I don't regret it. It's like, I feel like that was money really well spent. It's hard-earned money, and you know, to see that much money go is kind of nerve-wracking, but it's kind of nerve-wracking, but at the same time, it's, like I said, it's a forever piece. There's so many things that you could spend your money on and that's way worse, but this will hold its value and it's increasing in value, and again, you're just going to have it for as many years as you live. So I think it's a con, but it's an investment and it's a one-time thing, and again, the cost per wear after several years is just going to be so small that I think it's really worth the purchase. Next, that a lot of people say is the scratches. So I do see a lot of hairline scratches. I don't think if I even show you that, maybe you can see. Yeah, you can see the hairline scratches. So, I mean, does it bother me? No, not really, because I wear it every day and I expected it. So it's real gold. It's going to scratch. Of course, if you like bang your arm into something and you really damage it, that would suck. But overall wear and tear, they're hairline scratches and you can get it polished very, very rarely. I wouldn't recommend going to get it polished, but you can, and it will smooth everything out. But then if you do that too often, it can kind of like take away the, I don't know, something along those lines. It takes away a layer of gold. So I probably won't do that for quite a few years. Another con is the fully enclosed version. Specifically, as I was saying, the locking mechanism, which is one of the reasons why I opted for the cuff. I just think that taking a bracelet on and off and risking that the locking mechanism isn't going to be functioning as long as you need it to or want it to, or that it even should, like, I think even though it's meant to stay on, the locking mechanism should be made so that it can be taken on and off without damaging the bracelet and without, you know, distorting its capability and functioning. And all I could think of was like, if this screw fell out and this bracelet dropped in half, because it's two pieces that are only held together by that screw, if you lose the screw, you're screwed. Like, you lose your bracelet and then that's it. So that's just like, my anxiety could never. Another con is not being able to remove and put it on by yourself. Opted for the cuff as a healthcare worker. So between, like I said, going into a surgery, if something happened to me or somebody else and couldn't have jewelry in the room, I can't saw my, I'm not going to saw my bracelet off. And being able to take it off for when you have to go into work, I think is important for me. The next con is some people may say it's like overpopulated or like overdone. I haven't really seen a lot of people say this, but it's, you know, you could argue that it's overdone and that everybody has it, but in reality, I've only seen it maybe a handful of times in real life. And I've worked in many places and pretty popular touristy areas, so I've really only ever seen it a few times in real life, myself included. I mean, I've seen more Cartier rings than anything, but the bracelet, I don't really see it that often. Even if a lot of people have this bracelet, like the way you have it worn with like other pieces, or even if it's by itself, it depends. I don't think it's overdone. I just think it's so classic and timeless that that it's just never going to go out, and you really can't overdo it. I think people feel that way about like certain Louis Vuitton pieces, and I'm like, no, I could see 5,000 Neverfulls a day and I still love mine, and I still think it's a great piece. Like, it's obviously popular for a reason. And finally, I wanted to talk about my experience with the cuff version. So I was nervous when I first got it that it would fall off. I was very nervous, and I haven't had that experience. I haven't had an experience where it's like this and like could possibly come off. I've never done that. It always stays this way. I made sure I had to exchange it when I first got it because the first size I got was too small and it was uncomfortable, and I was like, before I wear this out and get scratches on it and can't return it, let me just go ahead and try to exchange it and see if the next size up works for me. And then I really fell in love with it. Once I got the size that fits, it's so comfortable, you don't even really feel that it's there. And it's really nice. Another thing people said, I think in like the don't buy the Cartier Love bracelet, because you might get stopped at like the airport in security. So don't hate on me for doing this, but I wear all of my jewelry when I travel. And, you know, I keep all of these bracelets on. I keep all of these bracelets on. I probably usually wear more rings than this, and my earrings, necklaces. And I did not have any problem going through airport security in the x-ray machine or in any of those scenarios. I don't know why some people have issues and some people don't, but I was never stopped to be like, oh, let me see, like, can you take that off or whatever. Never had that sort of experience at like an airport or going through any sort of security checkpoint. That is my experience with the Cartier Love bracelet. I know I was kind of all over the place because sometimes I lose my train of thought. But I hope that this was helpful, and let me know if you guys have this bracelet and which version you have. If you're thinking about getting this bracelet, was this helpful? Like I said, I think there's pros and cons to both, but ultimately this bracelet, the cuff version, was just the perfect solution for me. So I'm really glad that I went with this, and I have no regrets, and I feel like, yeah, I wear it every single day. I don't take it off. Again, unless I'm going to the hospital for clinical. And again, it's one of my best purchases of 2020. I featured it in my best purchases of 2020 video. Kind of forgot that I did that video. Also, just a side note, I wanted to say thank you guys for staying around and watching my videos even when I'm not consistent. I wanted to film this video today because I had a first day of school yesterday, I had a test today. I want to reward myself with doing YouTube. So, you know, if I have a productive day, I can take 30 minutes to film a video, and then at night I can take an hour or whatever to edit, because YouTube's a hobby and YouTube is fun for me, and I feel like I should make time to do it. And, you know, I can say, oh, I don't have time to film, and there may be times like that still. You know, it's very early on in the semester. I'm not like fully submerged yet, so that might change, but I really want to focus on doing things that spark joy in me, which YouTube does do that for me. So I want to reward myself after, you know, accomplishing a lot throughout the day with filming a video or going to edit and then uploading, because it's really fun and special for me. So just wanted to mention that, and that's kind of like my mindset for this year, and hopefully I'm able to stay consistent and keep uploading for you guys, because I have a lot of amazing people that support me, and it's so surreal to me. But I'm so grateful for this community and the fact that you guys understand what it's like to be a luxury lover and addict. So that is all I have to say today, and thank you again so much for watching. Let me know if this video was helpful. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.